I've played Minecraft since the day it released, and over the years, there's one thing that has stayed consistent every single time: building. Yeah, after thousands of hours played, do you truly understand why the way you build doesn't really matter at all? Of course, everyone plays the game differently, but every single player has one thing in common: a place to come back to, sleep, store items, and craft. This is the place we all call home in Minecraft. But what if I told you what you build here doesn't really matter at all? When you play Minecraft, what is the first thing you do? You cut down a tree. Why? Because you may need tools to progress, maybe you need to start crafting immediately, or you need materials to build your home. Or you could just be like me and spend hours trying to find the perfect spot to build it. Minecraft is one of those rare games where your ideas can become reality. So whether you build like this, or like this, at the end of the day, you've built your home. But here's the thing that you need to consider. Minecraft is a game that everyone plays differently. Are you the adventurer? Maybe the engineer? Could be the builder? Or maybe even the miner? Each player brings something useful to the journey, and at the end of the day, at some point, they will all use Minecraft's key feature that's been in the game since day one, and was arguably the selling point of the game: building. But let me ask you something. Why do you put effort into your builds? Even though building is a core part of Minecraft, you're not required to do it, let alone build something with effort. What's the difference between this house and this one? Nothing. They both serve the same function, and that's to sleep, store items, and maybe cook food / craft. So why build onto something that truly doesn't make a difference in your world? Why do you build something with so much detail in single player if no one will ever see it? I think the real reason players do this is because when you build a home in-game, you're giving yourself something nice to come back to. In a game that has you running every which way to complete tasks, building what is essentially a home to you as a player means you can come back from mining or adventuring and breathe a sigh of relief, because even after you didn't find diamonds or you didn't find anything on your journey, you still have a home that you built with care and effort, and that's why the way you build doesn't matter, because no one can build the way you do. Have you ever been building something only to realize it's uneven? One side's longer than the other, or maybe it's off by just a single block? What do you do at that moment? Give up, fix it, or just leave it as is? Next time that happens, remember that your build doesn't have to be perfect. Your builds are extensions of you, and I think most players forget that. Minecraft is a game built on creativity, and you're not perfect, so why should your builds be? And this doesn't just apply to your house. Minecraft is a world where you can build anything, so take advantage of that. Next time you start a survival world, don't just build a house. Build something that represents you. Truly make it a home. So what if you think you're bad at building? Whether it's a big square box or a detailed mansion, both have value. One may take longer, but both mean something because you decided they mattered. If you spend hours perfecting a mansion, be proud of it. If you're living in a cobblestone cube, that's still your home, because no matter how simple or complex it is, it's yours. So don't ever feel small for the way you build, because that build represents you. On the other side of the coin, creative is a game mode without limits. In survival, you have to earn what you build, but in creative, you have the freedom to just imagine and build. In creative, the only challenge is the ones you give yourself. You've been removed from all restrictions, now it's time to just execute your ideas. Next time you load up Minecraft, try making a creative world and set a timer to see what all you can do in that time frame. It might feel slow at first, but I can assure you, as the world grows, you will start to see something you may not notice as much in survival. In survival, sometimes you're so caught by gathering resources, fighting bosses, or even just exploring, that even though you've had an imagination all this time, you may overlook it. But in creative, you have nothing to sidetrack you. All your time can be focused on your builds and ideas. Have you ever noticed how time feels different in creative? You'll start placing blocks, and before you know it, hours have passed. I feel like this is true for survival, but in a different aspect. There, you are in a constant state of alert, because anything can kill you. But in creative, there's no sense of panic. Anything in creative allows you to immerse yourself in whatever you do. In creative, there are two types of players: the ones that destroy everything in sight, and the ones that build entire cities. Creative mode exposes the kind of player you are deep down. Every block you place or destroy it's still expression. Both players are showcasing what they would rather do with no limits. But here's something interesting. Typically, your destructive player is often the most creative player in survival. Meanwhile, your creative player is more likely to be the ones who spend hours perfecting a single house because that's all they need. That's their masterpiece. Some players are a mix of both destructive tendencies and builder creativity. I think these players would be considered the casual audience of Minecraft. Where your destructive players thrive in survival, your builder thrives in creative. But your casual players can thrive in both aspects. So which player are you? Hardcore is a game mode that has something neither creative or survival has. Hardcore has consequences. In creative, you're free to do whatever you want. In survival, you can die, but you'll always just respawn. Hardcore is the only game mode that has no kind of safety net, which raises the stakes of everything you do. I just finished my first 100 days in Hardcore, and it completely changed how I see the game. If you're a casual survival player, I honestly recommend trying a Hardcore world at least once. It may be intimidating at first, but once you start building and getting in a rhythm, something changes. As your world slowly starts to come together, you start to appreciate your builds not just for how they look, but because at any moment you could lose all of it. And that's what makes your build special. In Hardcore, every base, every farm, every structure just starts to mean more to you. Mega builds are impressive on their own, but now, the thought of losing it all changes the stakes. They represent the time, the risk, the moment you almost died from the slightest risk. Where survival lets you play it safe, Hardcore makes you care. It's the same game, but with everything on the line. So after all this time, after thousands of hours played across every world, every build, I finally realized something. The reason the way you build doesn't matter is because creativity is determined by you. Think about it. In survival, your builds represent comfort. In creative, they represent imagination. And in Hardcore, they represent the consequences. Everything you've ever built, whether it's dirt, diamond, or gold, it's always carried a piece of you within it. That's what makes building in Minecraft so meaningful. It's not what you build, it's the reason behind why you build it. Every player, no matter their style, builds for the same reason, to create something that feels like theirs. We spend so much time chasing perfection that we forget the one thing Minecraft was always about: creativity. It's your world, your story. Because whether it's a dirt hut, a castle, an entire city, every world is a reflection of the person behind the screen. And that's something no one else can recreate. So next time you load up a new world, don't think about what you should build. Think about what you want to build. Because no matter what it looks like, it'll be yours. And that's why the way you build does not matter. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter though. What does building mean to you? Tell me some of the craziest ideas you've ever had for build, or maybe the ones that meant the most to you, because honestly, I'm sure everyone has a unique build or idea that they've come up with. Also, I just finished my 100 days in Hardcore Minecraft video. It took me forever to record and edit, and it is honestly one of my proudest videos so far, so if you enjoyed this video, definitely check that one out. I've got some big plans for the next few uploads, more projects, new ideas, and some things I've never even tried before. So if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, and join me for the next one.